In letters made available to the public, the President has demanded more information and expressed his concern that Sandor Lleshi is constitutionally ineligible for the post as Interior Minister due to being an active member of the military. Residents of the Astir area have moved their protest to the front of the municipality of Tirana today, throwing eggs at the municipal offices and blocking the street that provides access to the building. Democratic Party spokesperson Ina Jupa has declared the tender process for the Outer Ring project a corrupt mafia scheme based on there being only 3 proposals submitted and only one which meets the criteria. Good evening, it's 6 o'clock on Monday the 12th of November 2018. Welcome to the English edition of Aura News. My name is Alexandra and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from across the country translated into English. For the non-decree of Sandor Lleshi as Interior Minister, the President is standing by his original conviction and has issued a letter with 14 questions to the Ministry of Defence. However, his concerns basically boil down to one issue. Is General Sandor Lleshi still an active member of the military? If so, according to Article 69 of the Constitution, this prevents him from being elected as a minister. Referring to the signed letter the Prime Minister posted on Twitter to nominate Sandor Lleshi as Interior Minister, where he addressed him with the title General, President Ilir Meta asks for a conclusive response regarding the candidacy for the ministerial position. He also wants to know what procedures have been followed by the Ministry of Defence to enforce the court's decision to return Lleshi to the former position as Deputy Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces and to reward him on the basis of a court decision. The President asks to be informed of what practices have been pursued for Mr. Lleshi's systemisation of a similar position to what he held in relation to the rank of General, and if the Ministry has any recourse to the court decision which was in favour of Mr. Lleshi. The President seeks information in the form of a letter of response as to whether there has been any conflict of interest in regards to Mr. Lleshi's role as Prime Minister's Security Advisor in comparison to returning to another duty according to the court's decision. The questions from the President have not failed to include an inquiry regarding the candidate, with prior court decision referring to him as Sandor Lleshi, while the letter from the Prime Minister has it written as Sandor Lleshi. Shortly after the publication of this letter, Prime Minister Edi Rama made his answer to the President available to the public. Rama seems to have misunderstood this entire saga and suggests it could have been avoided from the beginning. Given that the President's main concern is that Lleshi may still be considered an active member of the military, Lleshi himself has issued a request for the removal of the title as General. I feel sorry for the fact that if you had just asked the question that the letter contains regarding the status of General Sandor Lleshi, we probably wouldn't have experienced this crack in the process of decreeing the new Interior Minister, said Edi Rama. Sandor Lleshi's letter to President Meta contains an explanation of all his court history after being released from duty up to and including when the process was won. At the end of this process, Lleshi says he has not received an active military title and is willing to exercise the function as Interior Minister. With the acceptance of this proposal, which is inseparably linked to the non-involvement of the military, I have also decided to give up my military career, regardless of the possibility that the court's decision has given to me, stated Lleshi. Even if Sandor Lleshi were an active general, experts from the Prime Ministry believe that this still would not constitute a valid reason for the President not to decree him as Interior Minister. At the end of the letter, Prime Minister Rama explains to the President that by him addressing Mr. Lleshi as a general, it does not represent his current title and was merely meant in respect of a person who has had a great career. Albanian diplomacy has pulled out all the moves possible to snap up the leadership of the Organisation for Security and Cooperation in Europe, or OSCE, for the year 2020. Foreign Minister Ditmir Bushati, during the latest parliamentary budget discussion at the Parliamentary Committee on Integration, emphasised the commitment to increase our impact on the region. But for this, he argued that more funding is needed. The fact that we have a qualitative budget increase has to do with our aspiration to run the OSCE in 2020. If there is consensus, Albania will automatically be involved in OSCE management in 2019, declared Ditmir Bushati. During the discussion, a project allowing foreigners visiting Albania to obtain their visa through an online process was also raised. Foreign citizens wishing to visit Albania will have the opportunity to receive their visa electronically, informed Bushati. Another demand that has long been heard from diplomats who exercise their post abroad is for salary increases. This request is expected to be fulfilled in 2019 with an expected increase of 20%. Today found residents of Astir again in protest, albeit having moved their action to the Tirana municipality. They stayed there for about an hour and a half, addressing calls to the local and central authorities to negotiate compensation for the demolition of dwellings that stand in the way of the Outer Ring project. Protesters shot with eggs at the municipal building and for a few minutes had completely blocked Abdi Toptani Street. Residents warned they will be back in the same place tomorrow at 10 a.m. to continue their protest. Democratic Party MPs Clevis Baliu and Flamur Noka called on the government and the municipality of Tirana to negotiate with the citizens of the Astir area. The government should open its ears and hear the citizens. Today there were eggs, but we don't know what the citizens will bring tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. The government should open its ears and give compensation to the citizens at today's current market price. Otherwise, the situation may escalate. Prime Minister Rama himself should come and give an explanation. The Democratic Party is totally in favour of all citizens who seek to exercise the right to protest and defend their property, called out Clevis Baliu. The Democratic Party is in favour of the rights of citizens. They cannot be sent out onto the streets without any explanation. Compensation at market value is the only demand of these residents. No one is against the project. Everyone wants Tirana and all Albania to develop, but their families cannot be thrown out onto the streets, announced Flamur Noka. As he presented the budget for protection at the airbase of Kuchov, Prime Minister Edi Rama said salaries of the members of the armed forces will see the greatest increase. After many years being somewhat overshadowed by financial assessment, we will not only increase salaries for all those engaged in the armed forces, but the increase will be significant, said Edi Rama. Whilst we were working on the budget draft, we negotiated hard for the Ministry of Defence and we were able to convince the Ministry of Finance to devote a much larger budget. As a result, we can offer a minimum 19% salary increase to soldiers with an even bigger increase for higher-ranking defence employees. It is the biggest increase in the history of the armed forces, outlined the Prime Minister. This financial assessment, said the head of the government, is well deserved by the armed forces. With whomever we communicate under the framework of an alliance, their statements make Albania proud and prove us to be well respected. The opinions of our partners about missions are excellent. The appearance of our teams to challenge the patrols in Great Britain, where they took out the bronze medal, was a great and pleasant surprise. We could boast a little while looking at all those great powers that had far more patrols than us and yet were left behind by the Albanian patrol lads, gleefully expressed Edi Rama. The Democratic Party says that after the project for the expansion of the new ring road is just another mafia scheme on the grounds that for only 3 kilometres of road, a cost of €40 million has been estimated. DP spokesperson Ina Jupa says the winner of the tender was predetermined with only 3 proposals submitted and furthermore only 1 which met the criteria. The Democratic Party today accused the Prime Minister and the Mayor of Tirana of having implemented a corrupt scheme, given that the cost is €40 million for less than 3 kilometres of the new ring. For 10 days, over 2,000 residents in the new ring area are protesting to claim compensation for their homes that will be destroyed for the new ring project. For 10 days, the government and the municipality have remained silent, ignoring over 300 families. Edi Rama and Erion Beliai are silent because they have implemented a corrupt scheme, concluded Ina Jupa. Furthermore, the winner of the tender, according to the Democratic Party, is a company with legal problems. The Democratic Party has called on the government and the municipality to compensate residents affected by the construction of the new ring road. Miscarriages have been occurring at rising rates in recent years across the county of Lleshi. The alarm has been raised by gynecologists who say that the high level of environmental pollution and socio-economic factors are among the main causes for this situation. On a more positive note, it is understood that there is greater awareness among new couples for carrying out analyses before a planned pregnancy. The Lleshi Maternity Hospital has also noted a significant decrease in the number of voluntary abortions performed, which supports the idea that appropriate family planning has had a positive effect. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join me again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.